to me, that's inspirational. Whether it, just listening to Caitlin, her work ethic, it was important to her, and I mean, she's just starting, her round of golf. If her journey. I mean,
I was trying to think of who else maybe could play today, especially in women's sports, that would.
What if I told you that in a single day, one athlete completely redefined what it means to be a superstar? This isn't some wild what-if scenario. It actually happened. Caitlin Clark, the woman who already rewrote basketball history, stepped onto a golf course and did the unthinkable. On a breezy Friday morning, what began as a casual game turned into a moment that shook the entire sports world. Clark didn't just play golf. She shattered expectations. Her performance sent shockwaves through the sports community, leaving legends like Tiger Woods speechless and Steph Curry completely stunned.
Yeah. All roads lead to the Annika Pro-Am. Trust me, all roads, all cameras, all people will be tuned in for the Annika Pro-Am. Why? To see the GOAT, Caitlin Clark, take over the
But as the golfing elite rushed to welcome her, there was one place that stayed completely silent. The very league she calls home, the WNBA. Her rivals, Aya Wilson and Angel Reese, had nothing to say. And that silence spoke louder than words. It makes you wonder, has Caitlin Clark outgrown her competition so completely that they simply can't stand to watch her shine? Let me know your theory in the comments below. It all began at the RSM Classic Pro-Am, an event that's usually more about fun than fame, a lighthearted celebrity warm-up with no real stakes. But the moment Caitlin Clark's name appeared on the player list, everything changed. That easygoing tradition was shattered, replaced by a media frenzy the golf world rarely experiences outside of a major championship. News of her appearance spread like wildfire across social media, transforming a quiet exhibition into the main event. Hours before sunrise, fans lined the course, some driving through the night just to witness history. The energy in the air was electric, a blend of pure curiosity and unshakable belief from the people who followed her every step.
Places, every media outlet is covering this, and you don't say anything. That's what we were talking about this whole season. We were correct. The fans that were saying that the WNBA seems to be trying to quiet the noise of Caitlin Clark, not letting her shine to her full.
Tickets sold out within minutes, instantly becoming the hottest item in all of sports. Resale prices soared to heights usually reserved for the final round of the Masters. What unfolded next was nothing short of historic. For the first time in the tournament's history, the crowd wasn't filled with typical golf fans. It was a sea of Iowa black and gold and Indiana fever blue. There were more Caitlin Clark jerseys than golf polos or traditional hats. Even vendors were caught completely off guard, selling out of Clark-related merchandise before the first group had even teed off. The atmosphere was beyond excitement. It was electric. Everyone there could sense they were about to witness something extraordinary, a true crossover moment that transcended sports itself. And then, the announcer's voice echoed across the course. From the University of Iowa, now representing the Indiana Fever, please welcome Caitlin Clark. In that instant, the entire course seemed to hold its breath. It wasn't just a golf introduction. It was the arrival of a cultural phenomenon stepping onto a brand new stage.
Business is booming when Caitlin is involved. Pro-Am tickets are $25, and event organizers saw demand increase 1,200% for the Pro-Am because of Clark, one of the most popular figures in the sports world. 1,200%. Oh, it's because of me too. No, it's not. No, it's not.
This was no longer just a golf tournament. It had become the Caitlin Clark Show. Everyone in attendance knew they were witnessing something that would be remembered for years to come. Then came the moment of truth, her first drive. The air grew heavy with anticipation, the kind usually reserved for a sudden death playoff. As Caitlin stepped onto the tee box, a hush fell over the thousands gathered. The silence was so complete you could hear the gentle wind brushing the grass and a bird calling in the distance. Every eye was fixed on the young woman in a golf skirt, a basketball superstar holding a driver. She moved through her pre-shot routine with laser focus, shutting out the noise, the cameras, the expectations. Then, with a swing that was both powerful and unnervingly precise for a first-timer, she connected. The sound, that sharp, explosive crack of the club, echoed across the course like a thunderclap. It was the unmistakable sound of arrival. The ball soared into a perfect arc, a white streak slicing through the blue sky, traveling well past the 270-yard mark, a distance impressive for any seasoned amateur, let alone a rookie. The crowd exploded, erupting in disbelief and pure joy. Reporters scrambled for their phones, desperate to capture the moment first. Camera flashes burst like fireworks across the fairway, sealing Caitlin Clark's legend in yet another arena.
The W, just the presence alone of Caitlin Clark, they understand what that could do for their sport. They understand that, let's say 1,000 new eyeballs, 10,000 new eyeballs show up. If only they could get a fraction of those new eyeballs to become fans, they understand that's a win.
Tiger Woods watched from the sidelines with a small, knowing smile, a look of pure admiration. It was a silent nod from one GOAT to a potential successor. Steph Curry later admitted, "That was the best first swing I've ever seen." Coming from another basketball star who's also made waves on the golf course, that praise carried real weight. Almost instantly, the internet erupted. Golf Digest, ESPN, and every major sports outlet flooded their feeds with headlines calling her a natural crossover talent and claiming that Caitlin Clark had just changed golf forever. But while the golf world celebrated her brilliance, the contrast with her treatment in the WNBA couldn't have been sharper. All season long, Clark had faced criticism, physical play, and at times, what seemed like an intentional effort to quiet her growing influence rather than amplify it. The juxtaposition was impossible to ignore. On one side, golf was welcoming her as a phenomenon. On the other, her own league seemed hesitant to embrace her rise. And that's where this story takes a controversial turn, because while the golf world cheered and shared memes and highlight reels in awe, the silence from the WNBA grew even louder.
Caitlin Clark's name affiliated with the event. They know the pub that it's gonna bring and everything that's gonna come with it. So obviously they're gonna do what's best for business. Unlike the WNBA, let's be clear here. It's just so funny, and I said this in a video before.
Two very specific voices from the basketball world were noticeably silent: Aya Wilson and Angel Reese. The same players who had been outspoken and unfiltered throughout the WNBA season offered not a single word of congratulations on any of their social media platforms. To many fans, this wasn't just an oversight. It felt like confirmation of a tension that had been simmering for months, a silent rivalry that had played out in the media, on the court, and now, across the internet. All season long, Caitlin Clark had faced a gauntlet of physical play, hard fouls, flagrant hits, and constant trash talk. Some of those fouls were even upgraded by the league after review, a quiet acknowledgement of just how rough things had become. She had been publicly labeled as privileged, as if her success came from something other than hard work and talent. And despite breaking records and drawing massive crowds, many felt the league failed to celebrate her achievements with the enthusiasm they deserved. Instead of amplifying her light, the WNBA seemed to dim it. So when silence greeted her golf triumph, fans saw it as the final, undeniable piece of the puzzle. To them, it proved what they had been saying all season, that some of her peers simply couldn't handle her rise. That her success in another sport, one where her raw athleticism couldn't be dismissed, was ultimate proof of her transcendent stardom. A stardom that seemed to make others uncomfortable. Meanwhile, the golf community's reaction couldn't have been more different. While Clark was often treated like an outsider in her own league, she was welcomed like royalty on the green. LPGA superstar Nelly Korda, the world's #1 player, personally approached her on the practice range, saying, "You're welcome here. You belong here." It was a simple gesture, but it spoke volumes. Another star, Maria Fassi, told reporters, "Caitlin's energy is pure. She brings a fire we've been missing." This wasn't just politeness, It was a strategic recognition of her power to grow the game. The golf world, often seen as traditional and exclusive, instantly recognized the storm she could bring. They saw the 1,200% surge in ticket demand and understood that even a fraction of Clark's massive fan base could transform the sport. Where the WNBA hesitated, the PGA and LPGA acted. They saw a once-in-a-generation athlete and rolled out the red carpet, realizing that celebrating her didn't threaten anyone, it elevated everyone. But the true history-making moment, the one that would etch this day into sports lore, was still to come. It happened on hole 7, a long and punishing par hole with a narrow fairway and a guarded green. Even seasoned PGA pros often walked away from it with bogeys or worse. The crowd, still buzzing from her earlier drives, fell silent again as she stepped up to the ball. Caitlin Clark looked calm, composed. She took a deep breath, locked her eyes on the target, and swung. The contact was perfect. The ball soared high, white against the blue sky, its trajectory flawless. Gasps rippled through the crowd as it landed softly on the green, then began to roll, inching closer and closer until it stopped just inches from the cup. A tap-in birdie that felt like an eagle. The crowd erupted in a mix of disbelief and joy, a release of pure awe. By the time her round was over, the scoreboard told an unbelievable story, 13 under par. Caitlin Clark hadn't just played well, she had shattered the previous Pro-Am record, posting a score competitive enough for the main tournament. The event organizers revealed that ticket demand had skyrocketed 1,200% solely because of her. And when Tiger Woods analyzed her shot later, even he was impressed, calling it one of the cleanest, most confident swings I've ever seen from a non-pro. That was the ultimate seal of approval from the man who redefined the game itself. And with that moment, the public narrative surrounding Caitlin Clark changed forever. Social media exploded. Caitlin Clark Golf trended #1 worldwide on Twitter. TikTok and Instagram were flooded with clips of her swing, the roar of the crowd, and that near-miraculous shot on hole 7. Memes comparing her to Bo Jackson and Deion Sanders went viral, while debate shows scrambled to discuss what this meant for the future of sports. This wasn't just about basketball or golf anymore. It was about witnessing a once-in-a-lifetime athlete transcending her own sport. And in the middle of all that global celebration, fans couldn't help but notice one small but powerful detail. The silence from her WNBA rivals spoke louder than words. On that very same day, fans noticed something striking. Aya Wilson had indeed posted on Instagram, but it wasn't a shout-out or a word of support for Caitlin Clark's record-shattering golf debut. Instead, it was a polished brand promotion, business as usual. The contrast couldn't have been more jarring. While one woman was being hailed as a generational athlete on a global stage, another was focused on marketing content, seemingly detached from a moment that had captured the entire sports world's attention. Almost immediately, her post's comment section was flooded. Fans filled it with pointed questions and thinly veiled criticism. Why can't you be happy for her? And Caitlin is making history and you're silent were among the most common. But the frustration ran deeper than just one post. People began connecting dots, compiling timelines, recalling on-court clashes, and highlighting the string of harsh fouls and dismissive comments Clark endured all season. To them, this wasn't coincidence anymore. It was confirmation. A final data point in what they saw as a season-long pattern of resentment. For the first time, the court of public opinion swung decisively in Caitlin Clark's favor. The narrative had completely shifted. What was once seen as a rookie being humbled by veterans was now viewed as a generational star being validated beyond the league that had tried to contain her. The golf course had become the ultimate equalizer, a neutral stage that declared Caitlin Clark's greatness undeniable. And that silence from her rivals? It was no longer seen as competitive restraint. It was viewed as something much smaller: jealousy, pettiness, or an unwillingness to face reality. The public saw it clearly now. Caitlin Clark wasn't just playing a different game on the golf course. She was operating on a completely different level of stardom, one her critics simply couldn't reach. So, what does this all mean? We're witnessing something far greater than an athlete having a good day in another sport. We're watching the birth of a new archetype in athletics. Caitlin Clark is no longer just a basketball player. She's a cultural force, a movement, a living challenge to the boundaries placed on women in sports. For decades, female athletes were told to specialize, to pick one lane, stay humble, and be grateful for limited recognition. But with one swing of a golf club, Caitlin Clark shattered that mold. She didn't just hit a perfect shot. She opened a door for every young girl ever told to stay in your lane. Her message was clear. True greatness is disruptive. It refuses to fit in neat categories, it crosses boundaries, and it inspires across worlds. Her story is now a case study in fearless ambition, proof that talent, when matched with relentless drive, can break ceilings we didn't even know existed. Think about what this means for the next generation. A young girl can now point to Caitlin Clark and see more than just a basketball hero. She can see a woman celebrated by Tiger Woods, praised by Steph Curry, welcomed by Nelly Korda, and discussed by business networks analyzing her billion-dollar impact. This expands the dream itself. It's no longer just about making it to the league. It's about realizing that your influence, your identity, and your power as an athlete can transcend the boundaries of a single game. The Clark effect is now measurable, a 1,200% surge in ticket sales, global trending hashtags, and golf clubs selling out as fans rush to emulate her. This isn't just fandom, it's a cultural awakening. And now, the biggest question looms. What's next for Caitlin Clark? Will she double down on golf in the WNBA offseason, perhaps train with pros, or even accept a sponsor's exemption for an LPGA event that could shatter television records? The very idea has sent excitement rippling through both sports. Could she become one of the few in history to dominate 2 professional arenas, or even more? Every major brand, every league, and every marketer is watching closely now. The WNBA's handling of her rookie season will face even greater scrutiny. Was their reluctance to fully embrace her stardom a historic mistake, a missed opportunity they can't afford to repeat? Because where her league hesitated, golf embraced her. And the difference is being noticed by everyone. One thing is certain, this isn't the end of Caitlin Clark's story. It's the beginning of a new chapter. This wasn't just a golf exhibition. It was a revelation. Proof that her ceiling doesn't exist. Her influence isn't limited to one sport. It ripples outward, reshaping entire industries and redefining what's possible. Caitlin Clark now stands at the crossroads of sports, culture, and business, and every path ahead looks revolutionary. Now I want to hear from you. What do you think comes next? Will she seriously pursue golf? Or was this a one-time showcase of her incredible athleticism? And do you think the WNBA made a major mistake by not fully embracing her rise? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one. If you believe we're witnessing history in real time, make sure you're part of this community. Hit that like button, subscribe for deep dives into the biggest stories in sports, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Because one thing's for sure, Caitlin Clark's next chapter is coming, and you won't want to miss it.